Hey folks, it's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living, and I thought I'd do a really fun video, sort of like Antiques Roadshow, if you will. You know, recently that we just cleaned out our entire basement and a lot of our storage items, moved it into a shipping container to make room for projects that we want to get done this winter. But in the midst of all that, you know how you're going through things and you find items and you're like, oh, look at this. Well, we found a lot of things that were I guess you could say family heirlooms. So I wanted to give you a quick look at some of these to see if you could identify what they are. It might be what you call folk art, or it might be what you call Americana artifacts, but I think you'll get a kick out of this. And I actually have an idea of how to reuse one of them. So I'm going to actually turn that into an art project. But so here's just no particular order, just some cool things that we found in, unpacking and repacking some things. So one came from Brian's dad. That is an especially old pair of snowshoes. This is the original rawhide. I think you can probably tell on some of the bindings here, that translucent rawhide look. So these are not for use. These would be for decoration only. And they even have like the leather bindings, so definitely legit. They probably were in use, 20 years ago, but I think we'll just use these for decor and we'll keep them in our home and out of the snow. But this just definitely a good old find. They're probably, it could be 50 to 100 years old at this point. So just definitely a nice find here. Our next item comes from a treasure chest that Brian had got from his grandmother's house. So there was actually more than one of these, but this is really unique, kind of rare. That they're old. And so the star pattern, and folks that are familiar with quilting patterns, you might correct me and tell me what the official pattern is, but I thought it was a starburst pattern. I mean, that's what it sort of looks like to me. Red and white color, and we actually have two of these. This one's a little bit more beat up. The material's a little bit more torn in the middle, but I think this would look really cool on the wall, with like a quilt hanger, and this could go maybe in the basement or something like that. So definitely a piece of American culture for sure. Old star quilt. Okay, this is when it starts to get a little bit weird. The other artifacts I have are, I think you could call them hunting trophies. So, ta-da, antlers. Little baby antlers. But, they're not on a skull. They're not mounted or anything. They're just they were loose in the treasure chest. So I'm thinking, I might be able to turn these into something. So I actually have an art project idea for these, to mount them on a piece of wood and then do like a wood burned skull into the wood. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Hello. What is it? It has a hanger on the back and it's a hoof, clearly. So it was for something on the wall, but something had fallen off of it, if you can look right here. And actually what it was a temperature gauge. So maybe this was inside the house, but it was a thermometer. So don't know. I mean, is this a deer hoof? I mean, it's really white. I was surprised at the coloring. I was expecting, maybe something that was grayish, but it's old. And I don't know how old it is. It was in Brian's grandmother's treasure chest. So anyway, we inherited it. I'm wondering how I can give it new life. Is this something you would hang in your house? Like, should I put another thermometer gauge on it or turn it into a door knocker? I'm not really sure. Get ready. Ta-da! More hoofs. But look, there's a mirror in the middle, and then when you hold it to the side, the hoofs are meant to hold on to something. Again, there's wall hangings on the back. So, is it a hat rack? No, I think it's a gun rack, right? So, I mean, this is just so, I don't know what you call it, American kitschy, or maybe it's just, what you want to call folk art, or just good old, country craftsmanship. So, I don't know the story behind this. I don't know if Brian's grandfather made this, or if his great-grandparents did this. So, very funny, very interesting. I don't know where we would put it in our house, but maybe when we build phase 2, and we have the fireplace with a mantle, and this can go on top, and then you put your shotgun there, and then, yeah, I think that would look good. So, okay, one more cool thing. This one is actually a real door knocker. So it is a really heavy iron ring, and then like sort of like a thin steel plate. And then there, I put these nails right here because I had it hanging on the wall. But Brian has the hope to put this on our front door. When we have our front door to our home and phase 2, Brian's going to custom make it out of wood. And we're going to have this one in the middle. So, I mean, this is a pound or two right here. This is heavy duty. So, sounds official. All right, let's see if I can make a project out of that, those antlers. I'm over here at my art station thinking, in order to do the project that I want to do with these antlers, I need to find a piece of wood that's got a live edge on it. So like a board with a live edge, the stuff that Brian was using for doing the steps. So I'm going to look over in the wood pile and see what I can find. I find this piece, and then I go ahead and I find a piece of actually finished wood that we had. Brian had made these into cutting boards, and I was selling them at craft shows. And this one's been out in the weather, so I'm actually thinking this would be a great starting block. It's cedar and already been sanded. It's pretty much set for wood burning. I could do a light sanding and clean it up. Okay, so the next thing that I did was I found an image online for a deer head. Just as kind of a simple like sketch drawing. So what I'm going to do is sketch this onto the wood panel. And this one I think will be nice because it has a nice long neck as well. So the long piece of wood. So you can kind of see the sketch here. It's in pencil, kind of like I gotta get the right angle. But now I'm gonna go over it with the wood burning tool right here. So then I'll bring out more definition. And after that, I'm gonna try to place the antlers. And then to cover up the white epoxy, I'm using a stain, a dark walnut stain to paint basically the epoxy so it blends in better. And the contrast actually matches the antlers perfectly. There, that really makes it blend right in. So when you get really close to it, the white doesn't even pop out anymore. And it sort of has that two-tone effect, like almost like the antler itself. So it kind of blends right in. Okay, folks, well here it is all finished. And I think I'm gonna keep it over here on my art wall. It's not my best artwork, so I don't really feel like putting it upstairs. So I think I'll just keep it down in the basement for a while, but I'm kind of happy with the way it turned out. So even when you get a trunk full of really weird artifacts, you never know what you can make out of them. So that's my lesson for today is, don't just throw something away when you've seen it. You can reuse these little antlers. So anyway, maybe someday we'll find some really big elk sheds in the woods and I can make a really, really big one. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed the weird artifacts video. Give us a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Bye now.